Welcome back to Dmac Mad Gaming. I'm your host Dmac, and here we believe gaming is a lifestyle, not a hobby. Welcome back, guys. And today I want to talk about Hideo Kojima's response to the mixed criticism for the reviews of Death Stranding. Now, I did a video about the reviews on Death Stranding a week ago. I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below for you guys who want to check that out after watching this video. But today I want to talk about his response because when Hideo Kojima responded to the criticism, a lot of people took offense to what he was saying. And I feel like a lot of people wasn't really understanding what he was saying. And then on top of that, I'll leave some links in the description box below on some articles I came across because some of the articles are some American journalists really dogging his work. And on top of that, a lot of people mistranslated what he was saying, which also contributed to the outrage that a lot of people in the gaming community are feeling towards Hideo Kojima. And some of the gamers in the gaming community feel like he's just full of himself. He's arrogant. Some people feel like without Konami kind of keeping the reins on him, he can't make fun games anymore. I mean, there was a lot of mixed reviews when it came to Death Stranding. Some people thought it was amazing and inspiring and fun. Some people thought it wasn't fun, but it was amazing. Some people thought it was dull and boring and uninteresting, and it just takes too long to get interesting before you can start actually having fun. There was a lot of different opinions about this game when it was released, and that's fair. And I don't think Hideo Kojima is kind of saying, well, you don't know great art when you see it, or just being outraged about the reviews. I mean, basically, when they actually got the translation right, he was saying that he feels like, in his opinion, that Americans prefer first-person shooters over games like his, because in Europe and Japan, it's doing amazingly well. But here in America, it's still doing well as well, because there's a lot of Hideo Kojima fans out there that love his work. He's an iconic developer, and we've been waiting for him to be able to make his own game without any restrictions from Konami. And some people in the gaming community love it. I'm one of them. I think it's an amazing game. But I feel like some of the journalists in the game industry in America was kind of taking digs at him. I mean, Polygon made some articles that was ridiculous and had no real credibility to be criticizing anyone about their writing or about gameplay and things like that. So I'm going to leave some links to the articles I came across that really kind of made me upset. And I felt like they were not being fair and balanced. I'll leave the links in the description box below, along with the link to where they admitted that they mistranslated what he said. And I think that was contribute to a lot of the outrage a lot of people feeling towards Hideo Kojima. But in my opinion, I don't feel like he said anything outrageous or offensive. And I know what you guys gonna say in the comment section. That's because you're a fan of him, D-Mac. Yes, I'm a fan, but I'm not a craze fan. I will check someone when they're being outrageous or insulting or malicious. I'm not that type of person where I'm gonna sit up there and hold my tongue because I'm a big fan of them. That's not who I am, and you guys should know that. And if you don't, now you know. I'm not that type of gamer where anything someone does, regardless of how bogus or terrible it is, that I'm gonna stick up for them. It's not that. I mean, Bioware is another one of my favorite development companies that made Mass Effect, and I went in on him when they canceled the DLCs for Mass Effect Andromeda, you know, and I go in on a lot of others like Quantum Dream when they mistreat their workers. I'm not that type of fan where I'm a blind fan to their wrongdoing and their malicious acts when they're actually being malicious. I'm not that type of person. But in this situation here, I don't feel like he was being malicious or outraged or just arrogant at all. In his opinion, he feels like Americans like first-person shooters. And probably a lot of people looking in America think that. Look how many Call of Duty games came out year after year, and every year they made millions of dollars on microtransactions and games reselling the same game. A small group of gamers in the gaming community kind of made videos about it. Me and some others talked about how they're tired of this every year Call of Duty, and they want Call of Duty when it was good, when it was boots on the ground and skill based and things like that. And each year they improved it just a little bit to quiet people down to keep buying the game. And another shooting game that's popular is cover based shooters and third person shooters like Fortnite, Pub, Gears. These are a lot of games that are popular in America, and a lot of people stream these games and and do channels dedicated to these type of games. So I can see how he and other people, like people from Europe and Japan, can think that that's what we like as a country. We like our shooting games, but that's not true, and there's no empirical evidence showing that that's factual at all. And I understand that, but I don't think he was doing it to be malicious. I don't think he was doing it to be nasty, even though Polygon and a lot of journalists in the game industry was being really malicious to him when it came to reviewing his game, being unbalanced, unfair, and I feel like that they can't really criticize him at all because they aren't really good at what they do. They're not real gamers. They don't take the time to learn games. Like in this one article that I'm gonna leave link to in the description box below, it's a dude that made a strategy guide on how to do stealth and Death Stranding, and don't even know the basic mechanics of the game or how to do stealth when it comes to taking cargo back from the bandits in the game, which the game explains to you. It explains somewhat because it shows you. It doesn't blank out tell you how to do it. It shows you when certain actions happen when you get next to their camps. You know, your equipment light up. It bings. And it bings in your cargo. So you're thinking maybe if I remove my cargo, maybe it won't bing. I mean, experiment to try and error. That's what gamers do. And I feel like some of these journalists don't really take the time to really play the game and get a game a fair shake. And that's why a lot of gamers and gaming community don't really go on just these publication reviews on games. They wait for YouTubers and other people that they trust to do reviews on these games. And even the YouTube community is divided because some people think it's dull but interesting. Some people think that the gameplay mechanics are dull and not fun. I mean, Young Yang is another fellow YouTuber that I respect completely. He feels like it's not a fun gameplay mechanics, but it's interesting gameplay mechanics. Now, in my opinion, I've been playing it for about 2 days and played about 8 hours of it, and I think the gameplay mechanics are fun because it has so many different nuances to it. It's so complex where not only are you have to plan your trip, you have to you have to make sure that you watch out for certain areas. There's Townfall where agent rain comes down. You got to make sure that you don't go where mules are, who are bandits, and who may want to steal cargo. And you got to watch out for different terrain and watch out how you cross rivers and things like that. And they give you resources on top of that. And then you got to make sure you can balance that all on your back as you're carrying it. I think those are really fun mechanics, regardless if they want to call it a sim or not. And some people in the gaming community feel the same way I do. So this is why I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like Hideo Kojima was not being outraged with his comments towards the critics out there. I don't think he was being malicious or saying Americans don't get his game. He was just saying from his opinion, from the difference between Europe and Japan and America, that they love it more out there than they love it here. And that may be true. I mean, there's no empirical evidence, but if any of you guys can find some data showing that, I would love to see it. But that's my thoughts about the whole situation. I feel like a lot of people in the community just need to calm down. If it's not for you, that's fine. But don't trash talk and downplay this game because you don't like it. I mean, just because you have a different preference on fun doesn't mean everyone has that same preference. And I feel like a lot of people need to give it a fair shake. If it's not for you, to say, well, it's not for me. It seemed interesting, but after the gameplay mechanics, I can't get past the gameplay mechanics and how slow paced the game is. I mean, you have your reasons for not liking the game are valid, but they're subjective. And I think that even when it comes to journalists, that their job to be unbiased when it comes to reviewing these games need to have that same mindset that maybe you may not like it because there's certain preferences you like and what you consider fun and what you don't consider fun. And I think when we look at it like that, I think Hideo Kojima wouldn't feel as like you feel, in my opinion. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for staying to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button, helps with the channel. Make sure you share, it helps out as well. And if you haven't subscribed to Dmac Mad Gaming, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. And hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload more content. And as I said before in my last two videos, me and Dmac Gaming are working on some new content for you and some new formats. We haven't got patent yet, but once we do, we're going to be uploading that as well. So stay tuned today. I think you guys are going to really love it. Stay safe and keep gaming. I'm out. I'll talk to you later.